Hey everyone, RemanX here, and we're going to take a second shot at this video. I'm going to share with you guys a war attack. This is going to be showcasing Shadowlands versus about 140k punch-up versus Marauders. I actually planned this fight, was fighting the #1 Alliance, was able to get a couple of deflects on the team and take a solid go at it. We're going to go over all the ISOs, the T4 selection. Can this be repeated? And just the overall philosophy of this team was I've been gradually adding T4s into the squad to determine what were really essentials and what were just, well, luxury. So that's actually some of the process when you guys are asking, like, what T4s do I recommend? I try to find the T4s that'll get the job done. And then we're going to talk about how this can go south. I really want to lock in Shadowlands as a potential counter for Marauders for everyone, and we'll talk about why. Let's get right into it. So this is a G15 Sinister, so it is no joke. This fight is gonna be a bit of a challenge in that we're gonna be showcasing a couple of key elements of the fight, and some specifically that I think might potentially go badly. So we're going to start with the initial order here. Now this is going to be important. Obviously I still have hanger up. You're going to see that the hanger has triggered the speed up on Moon Knight, and more importantly, in this parade we're going to see the exact turn order, so you get an idea of what it'll look like with the Daredevil passive. Now first attack you're going to want to do is try to get the disrupt on Strife. Now the reason why you're disrupting Strife in this scenario is this team is kind of like X-Force 2.0, and so from that regard they're spawning in with offense up and they're doing tons of damage and they're getting an early jump on your opponent here. So early results, this is a 12 going into a 13. It was blocked, and however the disrupt still landed. If it doesn't land, I don't think you're out of the fight by any means. Now in this scenario, because we have hanger, we actually get Moon Knight going first, and this time I'm testing something very specific. This isn't what you would do in a turn order here. I just want to make sure with White Tiger, we're going to slow it down in a moment, and we're going to take a look at her special because it applies ability block. But the way that it was written was very interesting. So it is a 3 attack strike, and then something unique happens. So the first attack goes in, clears a deflect, clears another deflect, and that third deflect, after the third deflect happens, it applies the debuffs. Now, that was the question whether or not that would be a required T4, because the way that was written was it was going to give you the 4th attack to always apply this. So with that ability block, it is now time to just go right into Emma. So there's that taunt there. Now, see, here's the idea is to turn disrupt. He's not going anywhere. And so you are pretty much going directly into her. Now I decided I went for the to go wide to eat some of the crits off, or the retaliates, the counters off of the team here. And I just wanted to see what character was being pulled. The counter actually flips the defense or the offense down. So what's interesting is right about now is when I would have wanted to have the ult. That ult is a T4 that I'm probably going to recommend down the road here. You're going to see at the end of the video. And basically take a look at the T4 and ISO recommendations. I am locking those in today. So that clone potentially go pretty badly for us. You know, she had she ulted to begin with, she could have cleared those buffs from Emma. Now we want to kill Emma right away here. So there it is. This is going to be the ability that does it. So she clears those debuffs, goes right in. And the extra attack, this is why we have Striker on her. So right off the bat, we're going to be, now we have to get through Strife, and then the rest of the fight is going to be kind of by the numbers here. You'll see that we get a little bit low, but honestly, he does an amazing job healing with Night Nurse. Her speed up is just, I think, the actual piece that we wanted from this. Now again, there's that flip, so we get the offense up, and we have the counter. And so we're just going to go ahead and start finishing characters off here now. It's a 7 red with Striker, by the way. A 7 red Sabretooth. So he's still a big threat, and I don't think we took him as seriously as we should have. And then because we didn't have offense up on all the right targets here, So she just does amazing amounts of damage, even through defense up. She's applying that defense down. Obviously, we're going to see for 2 turns, he's not going to last much longer. And there's that heal that is pretty impressive. So we're marking the target, and we're going to go ahead and just chain here. There was the extra crit. So again, we're trying to mark as many targets as possible for White Tiger, because we want her to both either land the finishing blow or get that done. Here's her massive heal. All right, and she's getting a 70% speed fill every single time she does those abilities, and then she's landing those debuffs, which are just insanely powerful when it comes down to it. So there we go. She gets the mind control off one more time here, but considering the power level difference and the T4 investment, I was really, really happy with this result. So let's get right into it. So, you know, as far as power level goes, having a team that you could potentially bring up to just ISO level 4, 3 in some regards, and more importantly, to have some of these T4s and not go all in on these essential T4s and still get this result. We'll talk a little bit more about it now. So really quickly, she is the actual powerhouse in the team, and the fact that she was a campaign event character, phenomenal. I think a lot of us are going to have her unlocked at different levels. She is just the centerpiece of the team, and she is somebody who, if you can score those kills, is going to help you progress and push the team faster, farther. She's definitely a striker, and I do recommend her passive because it is on spawn. You're going to be adding this. It's got speed bar fill. It's got and the additional bonus for speed on kill. So these are all of the thresholds of an amazing T4. So striker. Next, we're going to take a look, and I have the basic from the old days. Obviously, you know, this now has been changed, so it is you'll always bonus attack regardless if it's a villain ally. So that basic is amazing. It is going to help you kill opponents a lot better. And the passive is something we were a little concerned about. It's going to change the way that teams go, because unlike when he's with defenders, this is giving Shadowland, when you put this passive in, extra speed on spawn. So that is a big deal. This is why they're so incredibly fast on war offense. Now, Moon Knight, I don't have any of the T4s. You'll see that both Moon Knight and Daredevil are raiders here. I don't have any of the T4s yet. I brought him to G14. He's going to go to G15 for some additional testing in Dark Dimension for tonight. But we're going to talk a little bit about this from the perspective of what he actually brings to the team. And so that extra bonus health is really powerful. You're going to see those debuffs. The more that he lands, the better off it is, and he can just do some damage on his own here. So another raider for marking because of the turn order. Now, she is someone who is probably one of the top reworks in the game. We're not using her to her full potential because, honestly, I just don't have the skill gear. I've been trying to figure out skill for the Doom Raid, but she is a phenomenal healer for that. This passive ability is something that you're going to want to get done. It is what speeds her up when the team starts taking near lethal damage and pushes them into the danger zone. So the idea is that speed up is going to bring that extra force of healing because of the fact that on her turn she does the additional healing. This urgent care, I don't have it, but I am going to get it. It is going to be for the off time when they clone Moon Knight and then he does his ult. You can flip it into positive effects and it won't counter it too much. Right now, there's still, without the other T4s, there's probably still an element of ruin, the chance for it to fail. That is probably just a little bit more than what would be acceptable for top alliances. But as an Marauder counter, they are among the best in the game in the current scenario outside of Black Order. So I do recommend this, being able to flip it now. We're looking into how it targets, who it targets, and what it targets based on the adjacent allies. So we're going to be looking to see through video evidence to see which abilities are being cleared. Thank you to Don Satori for flagging those specifically, but we're going to be going into more details down the road here. Another quick aside here. She's obviously a healer. In that she's probably one of the most impressive healers as a pure healer class ISO in the game because of the number of turns she can get when she's sped up. And then we're going to have her as skirmisher only because we want to mark the targets. And she goes first. So in a lot of the scenarios, she's going to be marking for potential elimination by White Tiger. And so the concern that we have is, does she need to be skirmisher if we have the raiders? Well, it's because Moon Knight doesn't do his thing, and more importantly, you're going to want to be able to punch through strife if the deflects don't land, and that's why you're probably going to be buying those t4s for Night Nurse early on. So another way to get in there. So you'll see that she has nothing yet. I'm debating her passive, and her passive is one of those scenarios where, and maybe I'm overthinking it, but it could potentially get worse because I kind of want them to take some early damage and speed up Night Nurse. And the reason is having Night Nurse help them recover or potentially flip debuffs if they're taking damage is going to be helpful. But more importantly, we're going to have to see as we encounter higher power teams if this is something that I'm missing. But again, you can protect specifically Night Nurse. Always have three targets to clone from, which would be Daredevil, Moon Knight, and White Tiger, and those are some buffs that are, they're applying debuffs that you would really want to be able to flip. So something I want to go from that perspective, and so that's the only other concern I have is that in the clone, if White Tiger gets cloned and she gets her stalking slash off on an opponent and apply ability block, you're going to want to have that flipped. So that's why hiding Night Nurse might be a good idea in specifically that environment. So you can control that a little bit from that regard. So we're going to be going into more details down the road as we figure out how this team is going to be operating in those small nuances when things can go badly. So that's it, guys. I think it's really just a decent team given to us by Scopelnex. You're looking at White Tiger campaign event, so potential up to a 5-star for free if you've been managing your cores. Yeah, I know there was a core event before this. Don't get me started. Moon Knight as a event, much like NTW. We just hope that they potentially with this new orb drop rate in ISOs. By the way, you should be farming ISOs at this point in time. Hopefully he'll be a 4 or 5-star. And 3 already existing characters, and 1 probably becomes, I would have to say, the best pure raid healer in the game. Yet again, the resurgence of Night Nurse is no joke. She is going to be able to help you perform in the Doom raid after you beat Doom. And remember, guys, I do things so you don't have to, and some of this I did because I wanted to. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope this sound is better. Catch you soon.